This Friday, see what critics are calling a cold-blooded masterpiece.
Hello, Finney.
You're dead.
Dead is just a word. Did you think our story was over?
Discover the secret
He brought us here for a reason.
behind the mask.
What do you think happens when you die? It's time to find out.
Ethan Hawke,
I'm not afraid of you.
You should be.
Black Phone 2, only in theaters Friday. Rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
No one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
Mocktober continues, and things are getting furious this week. Will we survive this trip to a relatively civilized post-apocalyptic wasteland? Is this movie a wild ride or a simple Sunday drive? Find out as we look to see if Road Wars Max Fury is not that bad. Welcome one and all to It's Not That Bad, the podcast that looks for A grades in B movies. Hello to all of our listeners in Sydney, Australia, and around the world. How are you guys doing? I specifically ask our Australian listeners how they're doing because if they're tuning into this episode, I'm sure they're going to have some things to say because we're talking about a mockbuster that plays upon the world of Mad Max. We're talking about Road Wars Max Fury, another serving from the asylum in our Mocktober celebration of mockbusters around the world. And here to join me, regretting all of his life choices, Lyle Robichaux's back on the show. How you doing, man?
Oh, Jason, you know me, ever the glutton for punishment. I return to watch another movie that has stolen 80 minutes from my life.
Could be worse. Could be longer.
That's true. It could have been longer. That is one of the only that's one of the only good things you're going to hear this episode. I'm burying the lead. It could have been longer.
It could have been much, much longer. So in the grand tradition of mockbusters, especially from the asylum, we're talking about a film that capitalized on the release of Furiosa. This movie was released 2 weeks before that movie came out. So we're talking about one that's fairly recent. So I ask you, before going into this, how familiar are you with the Mad Max world?
Extremely. I have the Blu-ray box set, have watched them all many times. The first one isn't as good as people let on it is. Road Warrior is incredible. Thunderdome is good, but strange. And Fury Road is a masterpiece.
Is it weird that the only one that I'm familiar with of all of them that I've seen was Thunderdome?
A lot of people say that, actually. My dad has only seen Thunderdome. He said that to me before because Thunderdome, I think it's because the first two were so low budget and were made shotgun style. Like, this did really well, so let's make another one. And then Thunderdome was much more commercialized, and Whitney Houston's in this, and look at all this crazy nonsense.
Whitney Houston? No, it was Tina Turner.
Oh, Tina Turner. Sorry. Like I said, I haven't watched Thunderdome as much as I've seen. I bet you I've seen Fury Road 10 plus times.
We don't need another hero. We don't need another way home.
I've stepped on the 80s people's toes. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
The Aussies are about to get their backs up real fast.
Bad. I'm so sorry, Australia. You made the best band of all time in AC/DC. I love you.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Midnight Oil.
They're good, but come on. Bon Scott. Give me a break.
Natalie Imbruglia.
You're comparing these people to AC/DC?
I'm just poking the bear here at this point.
Hallowed ground.
But I mean, like, considering the movie we're going to talk about, nothing I can say is going to be worse than what we're about to talk about.
And I've never seen like a mockumentary movie that looks to take advantage of another movie's popularity that is so far removed from the source material. This did not, if you wouldn't have named the title a Mad Max spoofy title, I never in a million years would have thought this was supposed to be a rip on Mad Max.
See, clearly you never watched Cocaine Shark.
No, I haven't seen Cocaine Shark.
Dear listeners, go back to last year's Mocktober. Cocaine Shark was an experience. That's all I'm going to say. It was an experience, and one that I'm still in PTSD trauma for. But we're talking about Road Wars Max Fury. And for the record, yes, I recognize that there is a Road Wars film out there. This is not a sequel to that film. This is in the world, quote unquote, but this ain't a sequel. Whew.
Just layers upon layers. This movie is like an onion in many ways. One of them being it smells.
And makes you cry.
Yeah. Out of boredom.
All right. We've teased the listeners long enough. It's time to take Road Wars Max Fury and trailerize it.
Ever wonder what happened to that red mohawk guy from Mad Max? Apparently he's gone into witness protection, changed his name, and is now out for blood. In Road Wars Max Fury. 5 years ago, their father was killed by some aging Aussie lunatic. Now, sisters Greta and Naomi must save their adopted mother after clearly crossing the wrong people in a Fallout New Vegas mission. They'll bitch, bicker, and banter their way through the outback in a car that sounds like it gets 1 mile to the gallon. But after leading the baddie back to their homestead, they must face the men who killed their dad and their stepdad. It's a film that takes all the joy out of this Anya Taylor-less knockoff, but leaves you wondering why a house in a wasteland deprived of water has a sink or a fridge. I mean, come on, people. Let's try to make things make sense. Vernon G. Wells stars in Road Wars Max Fury, not rated, because sometimes we need to protect the critics from themselves.
I like that one. We need to protect the critics. Oh my God.
You know, sometimes you avoid something to protect your mental health, and this is one of those times, I think, for the critics. But it's good to note, though, that this film actually does star Vernon Wells, who was in the original Mad Max as the guy with the red mohawk. He was Wes.
I want to talk about the most background of a background character to make a spin-off of. It's crazy. It's like making an entire HBO miniseries about the guy that was working on John Travolta's car in Greece.
I mean, Disney pulled it off with Rogue One. They made an entire movie out of one line in the opening crawl of episode 4, and it becomes one of the best Star Wars films of all time.
Jason, I do not know your middle name, Whistle. Do not compare this to Rogue One right now. Don't you dare compare this to Rogue One right now in front of me. Don't you do that. There's no way. That is leagues different. That is part of a space opera opus. This movie, we don't even know if it's part of a shared universe or not. It doesn't know either.
We are poking the dingo on this one, aren't we?
My God. And I'm so glad you said in the trailerized about not looking like an apocalypse. I have this because you've ruined the way I watch movies. I have pages of notes about this isn't an apocalypse movie. They have running water. Everyone is clean as a whistle. Everybody is sparkling clean. The house is clean. It's a Mad Max ripoff, and there's no dust. Dust is 90% of the ambiance in a Mad Max movie. Mad Max Fury Road was the color orange because of all the dust that was getting kicked up, and they just don't play into any of that. If you take snippets a half an hour of this movie and show it to somebody, they think it's a Hallmark movie.
Lyle, I don't know your middle name, Robichaud. Please don't compare this to a Hallmark movie. You are besmirching the good name of Hallmark movies around the world.
You compared it to Rogue One. To Rogue One.
We're just pissing everybody off today.
I'm pissed off now.
All right. Well, let's get into who is in this film. The movie stars Vernon G. Wells, Preet Kaur, Chandni Shah, Lindsay Marie Wilson, Jace Warren, Zaina Juliet, T.K. Lee, and Daniel Collins. It was written and directed by Mark Atkins and distributed by The Asylum. It is, yes, as mentioned, set in the same universe as Road Wars, which came out years earlier, but has nothing to do with that first mockbuster, even though it is quote-unquote set in the same world.
Well, thank God, because we don't want to besmirch the good name of Road Wars.
Right?
Yeah, like, you know, that masterpiece. We don't want to drag that into the mud with this.
Not a single damn person from the first movie into there's zero connection whatsoever.
It's an Asylum movie. If you're looking for cohesiveness, you are in the wrong place, my friend.
This is like one of those list of movies where it's like a spec script and then they slap on a title and put a 2 after. It's like, but it has nothing to do with that.
That's what it feels like. Like when I went into this, I was expecting a Mad Max ripoff. I was expecting a lot of vehicle combat.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting a lot of. There's barely any of it.
And it ain't good what's there, that's for sure.
Most of it is a very bad YouTube how to dress a wound video.
Are you saying that this film works better as an instructional video than it does as a...
I have never seen an entire movie revolve around we need some polysporin and we can't find polysporin.
That's like people who are watching Madam Web for their CPR training.
Okay, now we're in the realm of things we can compare this to. At the very least.
Surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, there's not a single score over Rotten Tomatoes, nor is there one at Letterboxd, nor is there one at Metacritic. But at IMDb, it sits at 2 stars out of 10 for a 20% score, and at the movie database, it sits at 19, giving this an aggravated aggregate of 19.5. So, I mean, it's an Asylum film.
Yeah.
You have a level of expectation for an Asylum film because you know it's made on a shoestring budget. It's not designed to be released to the theaters. This isn't proper filmmaking per se. But the minute you see Asylum, does this hit your expectations or is it lower or more than?
See, here's the problem that Asylum has almost cornered themselves in. They're really good at making so bad they're good movies.
I mean,
and they know that. Exactly. They know that they can make a movie that's bad on purpose because they know it's going to be so bad it's good. This is not one of them. One of the worst things a movie can be is boring. Bad, good, artistic, schlop, otherwise. A movie can be a lot of things and still get an audience. Boring will never bring in an audience. This movie was friggin' boring. This movie was so many long shots of Sarah walking through the desert. So many shots of the girls walking through the desert. Or driving around a corner and turning it into like a minute, 2 minutes of just the truck driving not that far. It feels like there was a time where they filmed this entire movie and they were like, shit, it's only 45 minutes. What do we do? Tracking shots.
Okay, but to the same token as well, there are a lot of mockbuster films done by the Asylum that have to put in CGI because of what they're doing in mockbuster of, whether it be robot-based or alien-based or just really bad CGI-based. To its credit, this film doesn't have to rely on CGI. So I felt it had a bit more of a realistic grounding to it.
I did that. Actually, I do have that written down, that thankfully there wasn't anything to like laugh at. Like there wasn't any big shot of like the big reveal and you're just like, wow, that looks like it was made on the same hardware that the N64 made games for. Like you didn't get any of that. There were a couple of moments. Anytime fire appears, it looks like a PNG, like it looks like a GIF. They just overlaid over the screen. And there's this one part at the very beginning of the movie where Sarah fires an arrow. And the bow and arrow she's using looks like a Nerf bow and arrow. And when she lets go, you see the string just kind of go bump, but the arrow flies right out of the thing very fast. That took me out of it a bit. But those are two very, very nitpicky things. Like in the grand scheme of how bad this is, those are blips on the radar.
When I queue up the Doors' first album that could help inspire a new podcast episode, I need gear that pulls me right into that warm LA haze. That's why I use the Andover Spin Duo. It's everything you need. Turntable plus spin bass 2 speaker, high fidelity sound, no cheap plastic. Fun, easy, even comes with a remote. And it works with Bluetooth devices too. Pantheon listeners, you get 15% off at andoveraudio.com/Pantheon. Do your records justice.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for this day.
All right. Well, let's get into the breakdown of this film. When we start with Preet Kaur, who plays Greta. So this is the badass older sister who's here to kind of save the day. Your thoughts on her?
Insufferable. That's my thoughts on her. I understand being like, I'm the older sister character. I'm here to make sure the younger sister's safe, and like I don't have full confidence. But for the love of God, like, the girl can breathe, can't she? Like, she can do something. Like, they take that archetype of like overbearing helicopter sister and just, I think, crank it up way too loud. I do think the sisters were some of the better actresses in this. I think they were trying, and you could tell that there was like a couple of moments where the chemistry was there, but every single time the younger sister did something, the older sister was like, you know how to do? They get in the car to drive off to get the polysporin or whatever they were looking for. Did you bring the guns and the ammo? What do you think, you want us to die? Like, of course she did. Like, I can understand doing some of that, but every single conversation they have until very close to the end revolves around, you don't know how to do this. And it's very one-dimensional.
I mean, if Naomi didn't exist in this film, I think Greta becomes a better character. They did write her a little annoying. But the biggest problem I have with Greta is that this shouldn't be her movie. The entire buildup of this film is basically setting Naomi up to have the character arc, to have the redemption arc, right? She's the younger sister. She was never listening, right? And then she gets to prove herself because her sister has been captured with her mother. Even the whole putting the face paint on, like she's going to war. Like, you build up Naomi to have this moment where she proves Greta wrong and she rises up above her youthful rule breaking thing. And then there's so many things where they talk about the rules. You have to follow the rules, right? Hell, even the bad guy is talking about following the rules, right? You have this entire arc. You have this entire basis of your existence, how you could follow all the rules and still be wrong, and you could break the rules and still come out on top. Naomi should have been the one to save the day at the end.
Agreed. Completely agreed. And also, the rule system doesn't make any sense for me. This is the only post-apocalypse movie where there's laws. You're giving the human race way too much credit. As soon as government collapses, people are going to turn into animals. That's half the basis of most apocalypse movies. So now all of a sudden it's like, I don't know how the council's going to feel about this. This is against the... What? Like, what do you mean? You're in a world like... But again, you have fridges and stoves, but no water. It just... I don't understand if you're going to say it's post-apocalypse, and a good while after the apocalypse, too, because the beginning of the movie took place after the world ended. Then you got 5 years between that and here. So it almost feels like nothing happened in those 5 years. Like, you're telling me society is still clinging on to, like, rules and regulations and, like, certain base ground rules all this time after there's nobody to enforce it? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. The rule followers are usually run over and killed by those who choose not to follow the rules.
Yeah, or the rule followers have to live in exile and drive around like Mad Max because If they stay somewhere too long, they end up pissing off one of the people in charge who breaks the rules. That's why they're in charge. Like,
I mean, there are moments where I like Greta's performance, right? When they finally get away from the bad guys and whatnot, and she's all pissed off because they don't have the medicine, and then Naomi's like, well, I took this because I want to make sure that we had something just in case things got separated. The moments of vulnerability and breaking the Preet car gave Greta, those moments I think are good for her. But yeah, for the most part, Greta's written as an insufferable bitch.
yeah. Like, every time the little sister talks, I'm just like, okay, what is she going to have to say about this? Like, it's just, that's what took me out of those two's interactions quite a bit, was just the fact that very one note.
Yeah.
Very one note.
Preet Carr as an actress feels like someone who could pull off a badass role in a film. I just wish she had a better character setup to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. And they had the look too. I think that's one thing. I think the costume designer on this movie went hard.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit one-sided because all of the people who are the villains look like henchmen from Tim Burton's Batman. But all of the heroes look like they just shopped at Bootlegger for the fall collection. There's no in between. It's either you're in Legion of Doom spiked football pads or you're in a Forever 21 scarf.
Yeah.
There's no in the middle of that. They looked the part. The car was cool. Like, they did have some visual elements down, but the writing is what screwed them over a bit.
Yeah, like Discount Caesar's Legion in Fallout New Vegas.
You're so bang on. You are so very bang on.
Chandni Shah, who played Naomi, this is the younger sister, and I've already talked about how I think this should have actually been Naomi's film, but your thoughts on her?
I think she was the most serviceable of the bunch. I think she did a really good job of playing like kind of the small, timid voice that does grow into it. But you're right. It kind of gets stymied by the fact that she doesn't get the moment at the end. She gets one of the best lines in the movie after the whole ending shot, which we will get to in a minute. Nice shot. Maybe the best line of the movie because it did genuinely make me laugh. And the way she delivered it was really good.
I mean, okay. First of all, dear listeners, spoilers like a mofo, but we're talking about Road to War's Max Fury. So I don't think you're going to go watch it unless you're broken like us, but just forewarning. You get to the point where dude's trapped in his car, right? And the gas is there, and Greta's looking like a badass with the lighter and all that, and he tries to get out of the car, and she fires a crossbow bolt, like a little wrist, like small kind of crossbow bolt.
I gave them points for the hand crossbow because the hand crossbow is an underutilized badass looking weapon. So I even have written under the older sister character points for the hand crossbow.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
But Discount Hawkeye here is shooting an arrow into a car door and somehow gets the lock to stick in place. That ain't happening in real life.
Also, how many doors are there on a truck?
Right?
There's 2 doors. He could have taken a step to the right and lived.
And yeah, we've already seen that these cars are older and a bit more run down. There's nothing in the middle. You can slide on over. It's all good.
It's a bench seat.
Yeah.
It's like, it looks like an old Ford Ranger. I don't know. It's funny that you brought that up because I went back and rewound that scene 2 or 3 times because I wanted to see if it implied that she got his arm through the door and has stuck his arm to the door, but it never showed any blood or anything. And he's still jiggling the lock.
Well, blood costs too much.
And I'm just like, oh my friggin' God, is that really?
But then they bury Egon after everything's done. And she looks up and goes, I need to learn how to shoot like Greta. Bitch, you locked a truck door with a crossbow.
Yeah. Like, it's layers upon layers. That ending 5 minutes took a lot out of me, Jason. That ending 5 minutes, as I said, one of the worst. That's when the CGI, the one time it does jump out and take you out of it, the fire. When that truck was on fire, what was that? Like, it looked like they took a shed that was burning and overlaid it onto the screen. Like I said, that was rough.
See, here's where they could have fixed this film and had a satisfying character arc redemption. Greta gets captured, and Naomi has to be the one to save the day. And Greta, who we know is a good shot, is the one to pull off that shot. And Naomi is the one that does the badassery thing, because that's what a rule breaker would do. She would light on fire, burn him down to the ground, and not blink an eye.
Exactly. And be the only one that could pull off the impossible. Ducking under the truck, hitting exactly the gas tank.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, you didn't have me, but that really went off the rails. They were trying really hard to be badass.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
they were going real John Wick with it.
take the alcohol bottle that she, got in the car kind of thing. And I know they left it behind at the gravesite, but I'm sure she's got another bottle. This is Naomi we're talking about here. Make a frickin' Molotov cocktail out of that. That's the kind of thing that Naomi would do.
Or, if you notice, shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
Through the truck window. Like, if that arrow could pierce the truck, why couldn't it break the window? And you were aiming for that, and you hit it. You were also aiming for the gas tank, and you hit it. So when he was driving towards you, why did you not just then lay down and let the truck go off the cliff?
But she's also got like the war paint on, kind of like how everyone does working for Shane there. So let her get down to their level. Let her reap upon them that which they did upon her and her family.
Yeah, you're right. And the face painting thing was hilarious because I kept making the henchmen keep getting more henchman-y, and the girls, no matter how like more down the character arc they go, are the same. Like the only thing that changes is that one stripe of face paint. But what took me out of it is Wells's character looked like an angry old Australian Ultimate Warrior.
Oh God, I see it now.
Because the face paint was a little bit too close to being actual Ultimate Warrior paint. So every time he came on, I just pictured this is what happened when he never got off the roids. He just went into the outback in Australia and started like forming tribes.
He could have done Ultimate Warrior promos like that.
He kind of did.
Yeah.
he kind of did.
Lindsay Marie Wilson, who played Sarah, your thoughts on her?
One of the better parts, I think. I do think the beginning of this, the starting scene, where the girl's father is killed and Sarah is given the necklace to take care of the girls. That's probably the best little bit of storytelling this movie did to set everything up, because it is kind of an interesting premise of like, ooh, before all the nonsense stuff comes in, it's like, this is kind of a good premise for a movie. And I think Sarah plays her part well, even though she's incapacitated for the better part of this movie, until the girls fall for the most obvious trap that has ever been laid, except for the Scooby-Doo gang in the 60s show. Like, it's insane how you don't think that suitcase is bugged. But yeah, I think she did okay. Nobody in this is spectacular, but of all the characters, she was one of the ones that didn't have as many, like, why would this character do this?
Yeah.
Moments. Trying to protect the girls, trying to protect her friend, stay in the house, follow the rules, get yourself a bubbly out of the working fridge that we still have.
Also, Shane would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those damn kids.
Those meddling kids, you're right.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I love the intro to this film to set up the everything.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching this opening, right? And this is very tense showdown. Shane's being cast out from their society kind of thing, even though he did what they asked him to do, but in the most violent way possible. The problem is, I go into this film not having seen the first Road Wars, because we haven't covered it yet. But I'm sitting there going, did I miss something? Do I need to go back and watch Road Wars to understand what the hell's going on? Take a look at the internet. Nope, I didn't have to. Okay, good.
Nope.
It's like we're describing a film that would have been so much cooler to watch, but you get the tail end. You walk into the ending. You're basically, mementoing your way through this film off the beginning. Which
is interesting. It doesn't happen very often that the first 10 minutes of a movie is the best 10 minutes of a movie. But that's what happened here.
Ghost ship.
Oh, you are right, though. You are right. The death scene is incredible in that movie, and the rest of it isn't that good. Good call out. Really good call out.
But I do like Sarah in this. I do think.
I do too.
Yeah. Her personality and her toughness very easily explains why Greta and Naomi kind of grew up to be as self-sufficient especially Greta, as self-sufficient as they are, right?
And also her motivations are believable, because everything she does, she comes from an attitude of, no, nothing's happening to you. I promised.
Yeah.
You're not going out there. You're not doing this. I'm doing this. Kind of it's the mom trope. Like, I will take on all of this burden, even though I know it's completely undoable, but I'll figure out a way to do it kind of thing. So yeah, no, there's not a lot of complaints you can make about Sarah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to overlook the fact that she gets, sliced in the leg or whatever, and then that knocks her out for days. Because, yeah.
Well, you got no Polyspawn. They got to go on a Polyspawn quest. That's it. Just blows me. Like, the writing in this is so crazy for being a Mad Max movie. There's no vehicle combat. There's not a lot of like vehicle period. Like, they drive around in the red car that was their dad's, which is really cool. But you're spoofing something that Fury Road was like 75% crazy music video shots of cars.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting a lot more of that.
Yeah. And I think you got a little bit more of that in the first Road Wars film. But I mean, like, this is leaning on the Furiosa. Now, I haven't seen Furiosa. I'm darn skippy that this is nowhere near what Furiosa is.
Oh, no, it's not. Furiosa is very good. Furiosa is very good. Way better than it was given credit for.
Jace Warren, who played Egon. This is the stepdad that didn't make it. Spoilers, sorry. Your thoughts on him?
It's not really a whole lot you could say. A lot of the stuff that he did, he was in and out of consciousness due to an injury. He was kind of funny in his own ways. Like, there's a couple of scenes where he was the most believable because he didn't get to say a whole lot. And, if you're in hysteria because you're badly hurt laying on a couch, hoping somebody brings you medicine eventually, there's not a whole lot you can pick apart about that performance. But he was good. He's in the same vein as Sarah. A lot of the things that his character does are born out of these girls will not come to harm. So he gets lost in the shuffle a bit, but when the shuffle is this messy, that's a good thing.
Okay. Egon is either punching up or Sarah is settling. One of the two. Because this is one of the most useless characters in the entire film. Second only to one. And we'll get to him later. But
he just sits there on the couch most of the movie. He's just incapacitated.
Yeah. Sarah sets the tone for Greta and Naomi. Egon is there. That's basically what it boils down to.
100%.
Zaina Juliet, who played Doc Nelson. So this is one of the last four of the people that exiled Shane. She's gone off to do her own thing, is away from them, and they reach her by radio so that the girls can meet up kind of halfway and get some medicine to try and save Egon and Sarah. Your thoughts on her?
It's funny you mentioned Fallout New Vegas, and we did not speak about it before we recorded this episode because I have it written down. This is a Fallout New Vegas side quest.
Yeah.
This is a very video gamey side plot to the movie. Okay, we need medicine. Well, we have this. We'll leave it at the drop point in a suitcase, and we'll pick up the medicine and then go back where we got to get it. But then somehow the villain finds out and uses that just to lure them because now he knows where they're going. This was the point where I'm like, yeah, this is a Fallout New Vegas-y plot. And she feels like kind of a Fallout New Vegas-y character, even down to her name. Like Doc whatever, that would 100% be in the Fallout universe. I like this character, probably because absence makes the heart grow fonder and there wasn't a whole lot of her. Doesn't last long. But I did like how they kept trying to tie back to the beginning of the movie. And they did flesh out, and this is a hot take that's going to piss Australia off again, and I apologize. The first Mad Max movie did not have much for a plot. There wasn't a lot of plot going on. It was just, what visually can we do to make this look insane? What crazy car stuff can we do to add to the mayhem? This does have a bit more characterization and more plot points than the first Mad Max movie did. Is it better than the first Mad Max movie? Absolutely not. But is there more characterization for some of the background players than there was? You're right, there is. And sometimes they do it right, and Doc is one of the ones that I think they did do a pretty serviceable job of making her interesting.
I love the fact that you keep bringing back up the original Mad Max. There is a documentary called Not Quite Hollywood, The Wild Untold Story of Ozploitation, and it's fascinating documentary.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it talks about Australian movies from the 70s and 80s, kind of like that low budget kind of vibe, kind of like what we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
Here's the problem I have with Doc, and it's not necessarily with Doc, because I think she does do a decent job for the little time that she has. It's Shane's reaction to Doc, right? Comes in, intercepts the Doc on after she's dropped off the medicine in the graveyard, whatever kind of thing, and he just lets her go. This is one of the 4 people or 5 people or whatever that shunned him out and banished him from their tribe and sent him off to go be with the nomads, betrayed him. And he was like, "You're lucky you're a doctor. Run away."
And remember, this is a man who's so mad at the other guy that was involved in this that he set up a generational, like, cartoon villain plot that involves releasing several people from his captivity to try to kill those kids.
Mm-hmm.
But she gets a pass for some reason.
Yeah.
That is not explained. It's not like, if you would have made it so maybe they used to be love interests or something, a throwaway line, anything. But I thought that didn't make any sense. Why just let her go? Like that, what do you mean? Like,
even to have some kind of moment where he goes, "I'm going to let you walk away." Why? You're a doctor. You have a use. You're useful to me. You're alive because I allow it. Your life belongs to me now. Just remember that, because I'm going to come calling and you're going to answer. Yeah. Just put that line in, and all of a sudden you increase Shane's menace. You show that he's basically like some weird outback desert mafia boss kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you give a reason for him to throw her away, because at this point he might need someone who's a doctor. Why not? Couldn't hurt. He's about to go to war with these people. She's a doctor. If he's got people he needs to get patched up or whatever, here's the person.
And it's not even just that. He does that twice. Because he has the girls dead to rights once too. Well, but because he wants to get Sarah.
Yeah.
He's like, no. You could have gotten her and kept them. How many guys do you have that you don't care about their safety or well-being? Take the girls captive. Send a messenger to the house. We have the girls. You know she's injured. You think that Sarah deep down, all this past dark brooding stuff. You don't think she's going to come after them even though she's down and out? Send someone to their house. We have the girls. She'll come running. Bingo bango, movie over.
The problem is the movie could be over so quickly. You have to write a way to extend the film, I guess.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. There's ways you could have avoided that. But him just letting them go is just the dumbest thing to me. Like, you have dead to rights, everything you need right there to get several people to come to you.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand letting Greta and Naomi go the first time just to kind of flush out and kind of trace them. I'm willing to let that go, but the fact that he lets Doc go as easily as he does without any menace whatsoever or threat or warning. Okay, bye. You're a doctor. Be thankful.
And you don't really, like, after that, it's like, it's just, then they all live happily ever after with her. It's like, what? So what was the point of having her here?
Exactly.
Like, why introduce a character like that if there's no arc? There's no beginning, middle, and end. It's just, she's here, she's still here.
Yep, that's it. You've basically neutered the entire purpose of Doc at that point.
Yeah. Oh, everybody in this is neutered.
Yeah.
Everybody in this is neutered.
I mean, why wouldn't Doc then go back to her radio to try to reach out to Sarah to warn her?
Yeah, exactly. There's so many ways that this does. Like I said, same thing with not letting the girls go. You've already let Doc go.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to, it doesn't make any sense to me. He lets everybody go and they'll circle back around. It's like you could have your cake and eat it too. Twice. You could have.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about him, Vernon Wells as Shane, your thoughts?
He phoned this in via Skype on a Nokia phone from the International Space Station. He was only Australian for about half of this. Other times it was just grovelly voice. Like, again, for a guy that's been in the wasteland forever, so clean, no dirt on most of his clothes. The only like blackness he's got on him is his Ultimate Warrior face paint, which took me out of it every time I saw him, because I was just expecting to be like, warriors. Like, I was expecting him to rip into a promo. He tries really hard to be menacing, especially when he's talking to his like disciples and stuff like that, but not too menacing. Like, he's trying to be evil, but he also doesn't want to hurt their feelings. Like, if those girls are seen out there, no marauding unless I say it. You can maraud a little, but no marauding. Like, it's like, what are you trying to do? Are you a bad guy, or are you just a babysitter for these people and you're scared they're gonna, like, I don't understand what the whole thought process was here for somebody that has such a dark backstory. is trying to murder 2 kids and already murdered their dad and tried to kill their stepdad, like you said. He doesn't know how evil he wants to be.
Yeah. This is NPC level dialogue for someone who's supposed to be the big bad.
Yeah, it's like there's no urgency to him whatsoever. That was the point in the movie where I'm like, wow, this is your big player, and this is what he's got. When he's talking to, what the henchman, Jackal.
Yeah.
Jackal, the one that was played by TK Lee, when he's like, no marauding unless I say. No marauding. I don't want any marauding. He's talking like a politician. I don't want any marauding. I don't want to see any marauding in the desert. Unless I okay it, then there can be marauding, but only some marauding. No marauding.
But
like
yet, that opening scene is still really good.
The opening scene is, but it's so strange. I've never seen a movie that did this. As soon as the main title card hits, everything goes out the window and all those stakes seem to disappear.
Yeah.
Like, it's odd. The bigger bad to me, and the one that I was actually like, okay, there's some threat here, was Daniel Collins as One Eye and TK Lee as Jackal. They actually felt evil. There were points where I'm like, these guys are kind of sadistic, except you have a man with an eye patch and you named him One Eye because this is a Disney Channel pirate movie.
No, that's a Fallout New Vegas character right there.
Exactly. It's like, it's so paint by numbers.
But I mean, Daniel Collins as One Eye, you're right. He's more menacing than Shane is.
He is. He's 100% more menacing. And one of the few good, like I said, I was coming into this as a big fan of Mad Max. I've seen all the movies. Fury Road is a masterpiece. It deserves all of the acclaim that it got when it came out. Tom Hardy's best movie.
Better than The Dark Knight Returns or Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson's Batman's the best Batman movie, but that's a conversation for another day.
Fair.
But yeah, I was waiting for vehicle combat. I was waiting for some cool situations involving car combat. The only one that was pretty cool was when they were on the run from One Eye, who was sniping them from that higher position. And he was told, okay, lay off of them, and they didn't know why. Like, that he stopped shooting or anything like that. That was one of the cooler scenes in the movie.
I mean, I wasn't a big fan of TK Lee as Jackal. I felt like they kind of made him, for lack of a better term, the comic relief in this.
He still felt more like a villain, though.
Well,
villains can be comic. Yeah, like he felt like an actual, he's out to do harm. He didn't seem like just like a gruff old man that was like, get off my lawn, but I also want to murder you.
See, One Eye felt like a hench and Jackal felt like a goon.
That makes sense. But again, tell me if I'm wrong. They both seemed like henchmen from the Tim Burton Batman movies.
A little. Jackal especially.
Yeah.
Jackal for sure. One Eye, yes, does kind of feel like a Fallout character. You know, the kind of character that would be sitting up in that dinosaur mouth taking pot shots at people.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so we talked about this film being nothing at all like Furiosa or any kind of Mad Max film whatsoever. And I get this feeling that a lot of these asylum films are kind of like this, in that here's a script for a movie and the asylum's going to fund it, but we're going to slap on this title and kind of tie it to this franchise and tweak it a little bit.
What can we bend this to fit the mold of a little bit?
Exactly. So I'm going to ask you this one, just out of curiosity. This same film, with maybe a tweak or two to the script, specifically for me around like the Greta Naomi, who's the real hero kind of thing of this, but you have nothing to do. You take Road Wars Max Fury out of the equation completely. You give it some other kind of title or whatever, and this is your film. And it's not a mockbuster, because this really isn't a mockbuster per se, because it's nothing to do with it. No.
I don't think it is either. That's the thing. That's what I walked away with, saying that's a bad movie, but it has nothing to do with Mad Max.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with, other than it being Australian. That is it. Like, it taking place in Australia and they drove a car.
Yeah. So I ask you, take Road Wars Max Fury off the title card. Give it whatever name you want. Make a little tweak here and there where you think it needs to be. Can this film stand up on its own, aside from being listed as a mockbuster?
I think it would have done better, yes. Because it's baffling. That's the time we went into this when you said you were doing Mocktober. I went into this expecting a movie that took a lot from Mad Max. and that I was going to rip on it for that. But instead, because you go in expecting Mad Max like things, that's what gave it the boring feel to it. Because you are named after one of the most non-boring. Say what you want about the plot, say what you want about a lot of things about Mad Max. You watch those movies, it's a thrill ride. You're on a roller coaster for all of those movies. This was boring as hell. So I do think it would have done the movie a favor if it was named something else. You do a couple of writing tweaks to the sisters, and you've got something passable here.
Yeah. And give a little more reasoning to some of Shane's motivations and whatnot.
And make him evil. Make him act like an evil villain. Like,
exactly.
Do something.
The bones are there with this script. I think they are. And from a directing point of view, I think it's one of the more realistic looking asylum films of some of the films that we've covered here during our Mocktober celebrations.
I completely agree, because I've seen a lot of asylum films too. And I said, for an asylum film, this doesn't look bad. Like, as I said, the costume designer was doing their thing, and it didn't look terrible. It had beautiful landscapes. They'd filmed it all on location, obviously, and wherever they were was gorgeous. Like, it did look good, but it was the writing more than anything. Like you said, if you tweaked the script, released it as a different name, but have the same bare bones plot, you have something here.
Yeah, it's not really a mockbuster. I mean, it's a mockbuster in title only. You can have a good film out of this. And
that's what I was wondering. Because just like you said, this was definitely called something else.
Mm-hmm.
This was definitely, and I would love to know what that was.
Yeah, it feels like a spec script.
Yeah, definitely. This was called something else, and there was an idea here, and then Asylum does what it does, got its hands on it, and they were like, we like it. We're just, like you said, going to bend it around so it fits this thing, and we can make more money off of it.
Yeah. One of these days, I'm just going to sit down and write a script and hand it to the Asylum and see what happens.
Honestly, there's probably far less talented people than you that have done that and gotten a movie out there.
One day, Asylum.
Exists.
One day, Asylum. One day it will happen. All right, Lyle. We've come to the end of the episode, so I'm going to ask you, who is your MVP of Road Wars Max Fury?
This was a difficult decision to make because you're picking a lot out of not a lot. But I think it has to be Lindsay Marie Wilson as Sarah. Because both of the girls, you could change a lot. If you were going to rewrite this movie, you wouldn't necessarily have to touch Sarah that much. I don't think there would have to be many things about her character or her arc that you change other than her being incapacitated for a lot of the movie. So you just don't see a lot of her. But the motivation's there. The dialogue is good. She reacts how you would expect somebody in her position to react to things. So I think by default, it has to be her.
I think you're right in that Sarah had the best character written in this script. And Lindsay Marie Wilson was given the best part.
Yeah.
But my MVP is actually Chandni Shah, who played Naomi. And I think more because I felt like she could have handled more. I felt like she could have carried this film.
You can see the potential.
Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
See the potential sitting there. And I do too. Because like I said, when those two sisters had moments alone, there were times you're like, there's something there. Like there's chemistry there between the two actresses as well. Like you can definitely see that they were putting a lot into it. They just didn't have a very big sword to work with.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I want to see more out of her. I want to see more for this actor. Give her the scenery, give her the moments to shine on this. Like, I haven't seen much from her. If anything, this is actually the first time I've seen her in a film. But I mean, like, she's done a bunch of shorts and whatnot. She does have a few films out there. I hope she gets more films. I hope she gets something that's, I don't want to put this as a downer. I want to see her in something more than an asylum film.
Yeah. No, you definitely want to see with some weight behind it that isn't made under the lens of, let's see if we can turn this around for a quick buck, which is basically what Asylum is built off of, right? Let's get people on the bargain bin, walk by, see something that looks so ridiculous that they have to see it. That's their whole shit, which isn't necessarily a negative.
No.
It's a way to do things. Like shock comedy is a thing. It's not my favorite, but it's there. Like it is a style of filmmaking to you see the cover for this, you see the shark tornado, you want to see it. You know it's bad. Come on. Spend your $5. Take a stab at it. That's their whole marketing campaign. So no, when you do see somebody that you could definitely tell the potential's there for something better, you hope somebody comes around. Like the amount of stuff that gets put on through Netflix, there's got to be a place for people like this.
Oh, exactly. The other thing too is you see these movies that they get made, and I don't want to point to Netflix, because Netflix isn't really, as much as we joke around about some of the movies that are on Netflix, and we did on The Last Gradient on a Curve, some of them are actually really, really good. But you take a look at the Roku originals or the Tubi originals or the ones that are made by the like, there is a market out there for those kind of movies where it's like, a 10.9 earthquake. Sure, let's watch that film and see what they blow up. Kind of yeah,
exactly. No, and it's a legitimate genre, and some people love it. I know people that eat the Asylum movies up and keep track of the release schedule because it's fun for them to like, yeah, it's so bad it's good. If it works and it sells, it can't be that bad. It can't be that stupid because it's working.
Yeah.
Like,
but you also have, and I hate to feed into this, podcasts like this that take a look at, because I could sit here and talk about all the good films that come out every year and be like, yay, I'm talking about movies, it's all good. Or I could sit here and talk about films that were unfairly maligned or are just that bad. And I feel like I just, read the tagline for the entire podcast, because I did. But this is one of those films where it's a couple tweaks and a title change away from being a decent film that deserved more than just being a mockbuster. And as much as Chandni Shah is my MVP, and I completely agree with you that Lindsay Marie Wilson did a very good job, Mark Atkins, the writer and director, should also get a shout out for this, because this is one of the best directed Asylum films out there.
He did a lot with a little.
Yeah.
Did a lot with little. Like I said, most of the problems I had with this, and most of the times I was sitting there going, what the is going on? It's because it wasn't a damn thing like Mad Max. Like, that's the thing. If you change the title, like you said, that's a good question, because I do think if you change the title to something and just made it completely original, it would be like, it's not a masterpiece. It's not going to win an Oscar, but it would be much better and less confusing as to why it is in that realm. Like, why is this a spoof of Mad Max? Yeah. And the only thing it has tying it to Mad Max is a bit player in the first movie.
It's a Fallout DLC is what it is.
Yeah. I thought you could have called this a Fallout movie. I'm not joking. You could have easily put Fallout whatever on this, Fallout something. Make a mockumentary about Fallout. Like, put it on, like, call it like, I don't know, Radioactivity or something like that, or Geiger. Something. Like, call it anything. And you could have made it much better than it was, but you're immediately slapping a tagline on it. And it's like calling something Pokemon spoof and then having no capsule monsters. What do you mean? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. You could have turned this into, I mean, I think it came in around the same time too as the Fallout TV series. So why not?
Piggyback.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's that point, people were starving for Fallout screen time and anything other than a game. So I'd like to think if you'd have spoofed Fallout or at least claimed to be spoofing Fallout, you would have got more viewers than if you said you were spoofing Mad Max.
Are we going to start getting video game mockbusters now?
Oh, God. I hope not. Some of them be good, though. You could make a really good mockbuster out of, like, Call of Duty or something like that.
I don't know. We're going to get a movie called Blocks and have it rip off Minecraft.
Or Tetris. I was thinking Tetris. I would love to see somebody try to flesh out Tetris into an 1.5-hour movie. I would love to see that.
Well, it's basically the Tron logo.
Somebody did the Emoji Movie, so I can't say too much, actually.
And got Patrick Stewart in it as a piece of poop.
Which
so,
is
yes.
Insane to me. That's got to qualify.
It is actually on the list of the worst films ever made on Wikipedia.
Interesting.
You're thinking about it, aren't you?
I'm thinking about it, but I don't want to volunteer for it because this feels like me shooting myself in the foot.
Well, nice that Lyle volunteered to cover that one next year. Yeah, you did. You did.
I'm going to have to now.
See, Shane's not going to let this one go. This one's going to come back.
This one's going to come back. I'm going to have to. Yep. Okay. I'll put myself down for it. Put me down for the Emoji Movie.
Oh dear God. I can't believe you actually just said that on
you gotta watch
recording.
it too. You got to watch it too. That's the thing. So.
Oh, this is your revenge. This is
and
your
I know
Dungeon
you're not
Siege
going to like
revenge.
this one. Exactly. You're not going to like this one.
Oh
So
dear God. It's come back to haunt me now, hasn't it?
it has just like Wells's character, Shane. Shane's come back to haunt you. He's going to talk to you in a mildly infuriated voice that doesn't convey any evil.
I will be tepidly unimpressed with you.
Yes. No marauding.
Only if I say so. All right, Lyle, thank you so much for this and joining in our Mocktober celebration. Let our listeners know what you've been up to.
I'm a producer at Anthem Sports Entertainment, big into TNA wrestling. I do all the live production for that. So if you like your good wrestling, watch TNA every Thursday nights. But if you like good wrestling, you already know that.
All right, dude. Thank you so much for this. And to our dear listeners, we're not done with Mocktober just yet. And trust me, we are rounding out this month in style. But until next time, you guys know the drill. If there's a movie out there that you think is unfairly maligned, or there's no way in the outback that we can find anything good to say about it, hit us up on social media at NotThatBadcast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And remember, once Mocktober is done, the Police Academy run is right around the corner. Until next time, he's Lyle, I'm Jay, you guys are awesome. This is It's Not That Bad, proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.